What is up, Scrub fam? It's Zapp. What's good? Coming at you with the latest and greatest in Set 8 Spice after that crazy Nationals that we just had. Had a great time. For those of you that didn't know, I had the pleasure of being able to commentate the event, and it was one of the coolest opportunities I've had in this game. But we're over the competitive wave. Now it is time to get into some fun. I know something that a lot of the patrons over at the 3XG Productions have been asking about is how do we make Bulma playable? And I think there's a lot of ways to go by that. I think everybody knows that red yellow is the way that the deck was intentionally designed to be built, but I think Bulma might be better as a red green deck, which is crazy to hear. For those of you that don't know, Bulma from Warrior Bonds is a 5k leader unawakened and 10k awakened, which is pretty weak by everyone's standards, but having two insane abilities, one being able to give your entire board blocker, if you run all red and yellow Saiyans and Earthlings, and having the ability to draw unconditionally one on the unawakened side, draw two on the awakened. It leads to some pretty crazy turns, especially your awakening turn. Being able to use the leader ability to draw one, and then awaken, untap two, and then leader ability to draw two more. It creates some crazy momentum switches. And while there are some cards that by going red green we don't get to take advantage of, particularly Birthday Party, we do have a lot of cool tools with red green at our disposal. Like any red green deck, we start with Vegeta the Cruel, just a straightforward green card that allows us to primarily be used as a rival. To be honest, it is one of the worst cards in the deck, but it does give you some spot removal that your deck doesn't have an insane amount of despite being red and green. The reason that I think Bulma might excel as a red green is because of this addition. Bulma the Problem Solver, being a one cost 1k if you have a red green multicolor, which you generally speaking you're going to be able to charge turn 1 because you play 3, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13 of them. But you're able to search your deck for a red or green extra card that's an energy cost of 2 or less and put in the drop to draw a card. So it's a one cost cantrip, and because of the leader ability, you're able to give it blocker. But you can pull Dormant Legend to turn on your Broly's turn 1. It's very strong. Not only does putting it Dormant Legend in the drop turn it on, but it also gives you an opportunity to hard cast it that we'll talk about later. On the red side of things, we have After Image Technique, your standard negate. It's going to help you self-awaken. Something you'll find with this deck is you really do want to awaken because that draw 2 is huge. You're able to utilize support attacks on Goten because it is Saiyan. It's synergized with a few of the cards in the deck. And then we use Broly Counter Reversal. This is a card that was prevalent in set 6, but didn't see a lot of play. It has a permanent that it's a 25k when it attacks active mode battle cards, and once per turn when your opponent activates counter, they can take 1 damage. It creates some interesting interactions where if you try to play this card off Dormant Legend, if they don't use a counter play in the first window, then you can get Broly Counter Reversal, and if they try to do a counter play in the second window, then you're able to burn them for a life. It's a pretty cool effect. Of course, the most economic way to play Broly Counter Reversal is through Dormant Legends. Dormant Legends being a field spell, so it qualifies for Bulma the Problem Solver. You put in the drop, and now the different rival Brolys are able to hit the board immediately. But if you open with it turn 2 and you haven't taken a lot of damage, you can hard cast it for 2, and it creates this neat interaction where once you take 3 damage, either critical damage or just standard life to the face, you're able to put it in the drop, put 3 cards in the drop, and then hit them with either Broly Rapid Barrage or the one-off Broly Counter Reversal. I will note that if you use After Image and you pay After Image for free, that does satisfy Dormant Legend, as well as utilizing SS3 Scramble, your SCR, you're able to take a damage, and that counts towards Dormant Legend as well. Sun Goten rushing in. It's a one cost 5k with Revenge, which means that in a Bulma leader it has Revenge and Blocker, so it's a great form of spot removal, and you're able to loop it through the Bulma and Videl cards. Videl Miraculous Aid being probably my favorite reason to play Bulma. Being able to, when you play it, you take a Saiyan or an Earthling in your drop, you put in the bottom of your deck. So primarily you're putting Brolys in the drop to play again later or making sure you don't deck out. But in exchange, you then get to pick a Saiyan or Earthling that's 3 cost or less, and put it in your hand. Oh, I'm sorry, it has to be a Saiyan. But do you know what red Saiyan we have in the deck? Support attacks on Goten. So being a 1 cost that lets you tutor your super combos, very, very strong. And if being able to recycle those 4 super combos isn't enough, play 7. Chi-Chi Motherly Majesty allows you to combo it for a free draw alongside your 0-5 anytime that you have 2 red greens. So if turn 1 you charge any Broly you open with or Gogeta, then you're able to turn 2 charge Broly Demonic Origins. That gives you 2 red green untapped, and you have Chi-Chi online for the rest of the game. The other 1-drop we play, Bulma Unyielding Courage. It draws a card. It has a blocker. It lets you play SS Vegeta, which we'll see at the end of this deck profile. But I love the ability of paying 1 energy to get a red or yellow Saiyan in your drop with an energy cost of 1 and play it. It can get Goten, so you have defense. It can get Videl for an additional blocker. It can get another copy of itself. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't get another copy of itself, but it can get Videl, and it can get Son Goten. Pretty cool stuff. If that's not enough defense for you, Topo Righteous Aid is not only a great way to stop those offensive turns against you, turn 3, turn 4, which is usually when you want to resolve it, but it's also another way to discard Dormant Legend to make sure that your cards aren't dead at any point. Again, the reasons we play Dormant Legends are to resolve Broly Tragedy Foretold. I've done a lot of very cool plays with this. You play Bulma, the Problem Solver, for 1, and then when they start swinging at you, you combo away Bulma, the Problem Solver. You combo away the Chi-Chi for a draw or a super combo, and you play this Broly Tragedy Foretold on defense. Now you get to blow up 1 card that they combo for the rest of the turn. Hi, Cammy. That's my cat, Cammy, guys. You get to blow up 2 things. You get to shrink them by 15k, which is sometimes enough to just stop the battle on its own. You get a 30k blocker, and if they do try to combo anything over the course of the turn, it really shuts them down, and then you have a 30k B-Stick for the rest of the game. Less expensively, you have Broly Rapid Barrage. It's not unusual for me to do things like block with Son Goten on their 10k swing while I'm unawakened, and then I combo away something, Broly Rapid Barrage, shrink something by another 10, and now even if you took the hit, you didn't use a blocker, it's now too weak to even fight. It's worth noting that both with Broly Rapid Barrage and Broly Tragedy Foretold, you can only have 1 of each on the battlefield at a time. Broly Demonic Origins is your standard fetch land. Just make sure that you always have red-green untapped. And usually you're winning the game through SS3 Scramble. Not only is it relevant because it gives you another way to awaken, but it's really, really easy. Turn 5, turn 6 to combo away a red-green, and you just deal damage, and now they can't combo with the rest of their things. So if they combo with something big, you punish it with the 4-drop and 6-drop Broly, and if they combo with something small, you punish it with SS3 Scramble. It's kind of a catch-22. Either you lose or you lose. The last red-green dual civ we play, SSB Gogeta Resonant Explosion. Again, this is just a way to try to get value out of these 1-drops, these red drops, these greens. It's not the best card in the deck. I wish it would perform better, but it's worth mentioning that it comes in, it blows something up, and then it blocks something later on defense. More importantly, it's an Arrival red, so it lets you get it out inexpensively. Last card in the deck, SS Vegeta Raging Frenzy. It's a neat little card. Basically, anytime one of your Bulmas die, which can be Bulma the Problem Solver or Bulma Untold Tragedy, or is that, I believe? Yeah, Bulma Unyielding Courage, I'm sorry. So anytime you block with one of those and they pass, you get SS Vegeta Raging Frenzy. And it becomes a 20k beat stick. Often what happens is you'll block with a Bulma. Raging Frenzy will hit board, and now you have an additional blocker. And those type of defensive decks is what keeps Bulma in the fray, even when your leader is generally at a lower power stat than everyone else. But that's a quick view of the deck. I think it is an archetype that definitely has some potential. I'm not 100% sold that it's better than the red-yellow, but I think we've had this huge card pool since set 6 that no one's really touched at a competitive level, and I truly, deeply believe that if there is a way to make these cards viable, Bulma is the way to go. Thank you as always for all the support. Love you guys. As you know, if you have any questions, any comments, if there's any deck profiles you're looking for, definitely reach out to us. Comment below. Don't be afraid to reach out to us on the Patreon, the Discord, of course. If you follow along there, you're going to see a lot of set 8 content. Keep an eye peeled for Pat's videos this week, where he goes over how to approach set 8 Unlimited to make sure you're ready for your events. And then, you'll see Frisco, Matt, Pat, and I, Jose as well, publishing a lot of new leader content in the weeks to follow. All right, we'll see you next time. Okay, bye.